My trip on the Reelfoot Lake to a duck blind early in the morning.
There they are. Y'all smile, you're on camera.
Watch it, watch it.
You can hear the shooting in the background. It sounds like Bosnia. You pull in under the blind and up through the steps, up through a hole, into the living room, I guess you'd call it, or bedroom. It serves as both.
All good so far? All right. We're on the down stretch now on the big walk. I'll go slow, okay? My name's Ronnie Capps, and I've been guiding on Reelfoot Lake for over 30 years and been hunting for near 50 years. There you go, Parker. There you go. So yeah, well, Reelfoot, you know, back in 1811 and 12, we had a series of earthquakes that actually formed the lake, and prior to that, it was more a swampy type habitat before the earthquakes. And basically what happened is the ground just basically sunk and created the lake. And you know, all the timber that was standing prior to the earthquake is still standing out there. A lot of it's still alive, some of it's dead. Most of it is dead in the deeper water basins, and it's a very unique place because of that, for sure. We got more fish habitat and basically habitat for waterfowl and every living animal that lives in the swamp. Honestly, there's more life in the swamp than there is on anywhere on the planet. So very unique. I love it. Been my home my whole life, and I guess it'll still be standing when I'm dead. So.
My name is Ben Parker, and I've been hunting Reelfoot Lake as long as I can remember. It's been a great place to be, a great place to hunt, and I've been here my whole life. You know, duck hunting at Reelfoot Lake is really a way of life, and it's been that way for decades and decades. Back when people used to do a lot of commercial fishing and hunting and trapping, all the way up to today. There's still, it's a huge economic impact on the area. It's just what we do here.
The way blinds are handled on Reelfoot, back in the day, you know, it was basically every man for himself, and I guess who could be the most persistent at trying to maintain a good hunting area, if you will, and fight it out with whoever give him any trouble.
With everyone else. And these are the stands where they go out, stand up through there and shoot the ducks.
Over a time period, it just got known that this family hunts here and this family hunts there on the lake. And up until the mid-'80s, when the state said, you know what, if you've been hunting in a place, we're going to recognize that, and you're going to have this one area, this one specific GPS location on the lake that you can hunt from, and it's going to be grandfathered in your name, and you'll be able to hunt there until you die.
There's actually around 200 here, I think, on the lake. I'm not sure on that number. There's about 60 of them that are in the public draw right now. Eventually they'll all be in there. Keep the coons out. Ah. You ready? You ready? Well, it's been here since 1992 or 92. I think it burnt me in 91, 92. When they burned it, I said I don't need to make another wooden blind, so we done it out of steel. You know, it was a way of life for a lot of people to make their living here, you know, guiding and hunting and fishing. And they would fight over their hunting spots, you know, and that's that was pretty normal. Lots of fires happened to duck blinds. And
a person deceased in a deadly double shooting at a blind, a duck blind on Reelfoot Lake in Northwest Tennessee.
Lots of explosions with dynamite over the years that when I was a younger guy, we'd hear pretty often dynamite going off, and you know, who knew which blind got blew up. It was kind of a funny thing, but it was real.
There's some world-class talking goes on in this barn. I can promise you that. Cut him in the hole. Cut him. Kill him. There's a lot of people hunting out here, and there's a lot of times that you almost shot. You know, you killed a handful and you should have had 3 times that, or you almost did. But a lot of shooting on the lake means there's ducks around and crossing, and I guess that's better than just sitting here deer hunting for nothing. Cut him. You know, the culture of duck hunting is a lot different here at Reelfoot Lake than most places. You have to have a permanent spread out. You've got to use heavy weights if you're out in open water, and tough string, and your decoys have to be able to ride the conditions out. And it's kind of crowded on the lake. There are a lot of people hunting, so it's really important that your blind is well hid, that your decoys look good, and you know how to blow a duck call, and you know when not to blow a duck call.
There goes some ducks, boy. Look at there. We got ducks. Ho, great ducks. Great. Ho. Okay, well. Hey. Honestly, there's quite a few people that do it.
The calling style out here on the lake is different from what you normally hear. You know, we're for the most part hunting a lot of high-flying traffic ducks, and kind of the high ball with a middle reed duck call is kind of like began the evolution.
Basically, the tone that you get from some of those copper reeds, I've seen stainless steel reeds, I've seen calls that doesn't really mimic a duck to you and me, but the tone, the distance, and the distance that they can get from them calls will actually grab attention. My grandfather is really first recollection that I have of somebody hollering at a duck with their mouth.
You probably won't hear it anywhere else, people anking at ducks or actually vocally yelling at the ducks. It has a very niche time when that works.
If you're gonna holler at them with your mouth, you need silence. The duck don't need to be listening to anything like another caller.
And if you're doing it at the wrong time, it's going to scare them away. You got to know when to do it.
Let him get in the right position to be able to turn around to you. And holler at him at the right time, and I'll put money on it just about more than I would have called, honestly. And I've seen ducks absolutely turn around in midair, man, and turn around and come straight to him for doing that. And it was an amazement for me, man. I couldn't believe it, and you know how it worked. And you know, so I've kind of mimicked him and carried the tradition on.
See all the decoys roaming around? The whole pond was covered.
You know, back in the day, if you had a milk jug and painted that thing black and put a string and a weight on it and threw it out in the lake, that could be used as a decoy. I've seen, milk jugs. I've seen detergent bottles. We've seen little small Freon bottles painted black and used as decoys. And these are kind of a filler style decoy that's just painted black. And that's kind of how the filler killer came about, where it was just this big plastic, I don't know. It looks nothing like a duck, except from far away. If you put out several of them, it looks like a flock of ducks.
There's been everything used, back in the day when I was young, it was legal then to use like milk jugs, and I used actually syrup, pancake syrup jugs was the best one. So you'd be amazed. 500 or 600 black jugs, you can see it for a long, long way, a lot further than you can 500 or 600 just standard decoys. So that was a big thing here.
The dogs couldn't pick the ducks up fast enough, so Ronnie had to help. Now here comes the duck out of the tree. And after he does his job, they send him back up in the tree and waits for a command again.
Technology, just like fishing, when technology got to going, the days of the jerk strings, 50 decoys was a thing of the past, and it really tightened everybody up, just because of technology. And those kind of things are just something, change is inevitable, but everybody's fighting that battle right now.
It's like, yes, you need to have robos because your neighbor down there has robos, but you need to, there's a strategy in it, should we put them on the upwind side of the decoy spread or the downwind, or do you scatter them everywhere? Do you turn them on? Do you turn them off? When to turn them on and off? There's a lot of strategy that plays into it now, not just, hey, let's throw out some decoys and quack a couple times on a duck call. And it's really, how involved you want to get into it is up to you. But I know you can spend a lot of money really quick on some setups out here on the lake.
Pan the kitchen or something, I can get out of the way. You can see, look at everything in there.
Well, some was shooting ducks and some was cooking breakfast. We ate a little bit of breakfast out there, and also dinner will come up a little bit later. Just want to show you the kitchen now. It's a nice little blind and has a kitchen, a bathroom, a living room, and a bedroom combined. All you have to do is step out of the kitchen and right into the shooting range.
This will be down my duck call in a minute. Thanks.
And my dad actually had a blind built at one point in time that it was just a boat shed. You put the boat in the blind and shooting stalls were on top, and it was just kind of the most modest way to have a blind and hunt from. But we started having a lot of success there, and times have changed. Back the first stick blind that we built back there, might have been 16 feet long and 4 feet wide, and with a little boat shed right beside it. And when you got in the blind, you went in one end of the blind all the way down to the other end, and the same way you went in the blind was the same way you're coming back out, crawling over top of each other. Now we've got a lot more elaborate blinds. It's really evolved. I mean, to have a comfortable place to hunt and spend the day hunting on the lake. Because on Reelfoot Lake, we can legally hunt out here until 3 p.m. After 3 p.m., there's no more hunting on the lake until the following day. So when we go, we're packing breakfast, we're packing a lunch. We want it to be as comfortable as possible. Enjoy being outside. Reelfoot Lake's a beautiful place, and that's really where I love to spend my days.
The crow's nest, Matt, you can get up here and shoot a cripple basically a lot of places if you stand up. But anyway, it's just a duck blind, man. my father had hunted and basically maintained that blind most all his life. There were some times when he couldn't hunt, and you know, it kind of, the blind kind of rotted down, and we rebuilt it when I started getting old enough to hunt. We rebuilt it, but at any rate, when that registration time come around, the person had to be 16 years old or older to be able to register a site. But at any rate, he registered in my name at that point. And so it was my blind until death. And you know, I've made good use of it for sure. That's one of the most valuable things I think my father left to me for sure, is a place to hunt. And so I'll be able to hold it until I die, and then it'll go into a public draw. That's kind of how the law works here on Reelfoot. So when I die, it'll go into the public draw.
I was fortunate enough to be grandfathered in the spot, which means I can hunt here until I die, as long as I, you know, pay my permits and stuff. But then, in the likely event that I do pass away one of these days, the spot would go into a draw system for the state, and then people draw and get a blind spot location for a year. I've been hunting here my whole life, and I'm back here in the woods, and it's a grown-up swampy hole that I have spent my lifetime keeping cleaned out, cleaned up, and in good working order. You know, this is something that we chip on all year round. We've been working on this and adding on and remodeling for, I don't know, more than 2 decades probably.
Ain't for me. Loud. Hey, you gotta be loud. I found a purple plastic 16 gauge lead hull that my granddaddy had shot out of a Model 12 16 gauge right there. He had a Model 12 16 gauge. It had a compass in the stock, and I don't have the gun these days. I'd give anything if I did, and it got away. But I found that hole and about probably teared my eye, because we had leaned up against that tree so many times. And that's where we hunted right there. But lots of memories right here. That tree, that's the one single cypress right in front of my blind, that particular tree is the tree we hid behind when I was a very young age. I'm guessing 5th or 6th grade, because I know I was pretty big time by 7th grade. You know, I had so many squirrel trees that we had hunted. It's unbelievable, and those purple hulls were strewed all over the place where he had been squirrel hunting. But the same thing happened to at that tree. I was out there working in my decoys one day, and lo and behold, discovered one of his caps, one of his remnant shells, and the hulls that we had shot right there. So that's pretty special, man. But I hope whoever gets to draw it when I'm dead and gone does enjoy it as much as I have. You know, I've had people that have hunted in that location with me, and their ashes are in my hole right now. So that's how special it's been to a lot of other people too. So man, my ashes may end up in it too. Who knows?
Now fall in the water. Get out of the water. Get out.
Oh, he got it in there.
And this is the way the blind looks. You just pull your boat up and under it, climb up the steps, and you're there.